Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Crimson Desert. I'm the Spiffing Brit, and it feels good to be back. My goodness. I took a light break from playing this game because of the insane crunch that it took to get the last video out, but it feels wonderful to return with a brand new day ahead of us with a few main goals. In the last video, we became very powerful, defeated several bosses, showcased the power of explosive arrows, invested some money in a bank, and then became a spinning shish kebab of death. However, if there was one thing that people wanted after that video, it was the most important thing of all, an update on how our gold investments are doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us return over to the lovely Calfade region to see what my gold portfolio looks like. And we're going to be needing it, because my plan today, ladies and gentlemen, is to show you how to become a god. After all, the number one complaint that you and the IGN reviewers had was that the bosses are just too darn difficult. And luckily for you, I have just the solution, the one-size-fits-all game-breaking kind. But in order to pull it off, we're going to need some money, so of course we're returning back to the good old-fashioned bank to see how the investment's cooking. But first, a word from our sponsor. We've been graced with the Division Resurgence, a fully-fledged deluxe gaming experience on mobile. That's right, the complete Division experience is now portable. Immersive environment, satisfying gunplay, and all the tactical brilliance you'd expect, but without the inconvenience of needing to sit at a desk like some sort of medieval office worker. Now, should you wish to engage in a bit of friendly cooperation, or more realistically exploit your friends for tactical advantage, you can jump into co-op gameplay, tackle encounters, coordinate strategies, and absolutely carry that one friend who insists on running directly into danger. Or if you prefer a more independent approach, you can go solo and progress entirely at your own pace. And of course, what would be a proper experience without loot? Delicious, glorious loot. Earn new gear, upgrade your loadout, and carefully optimize your agent's progression to achieve maximum effectiveness. The system is, dare I say, ripe for tactical enhancement. So if you'd like to experience this perfectly balanced mobile game for yourself, simply click the link in the description below and begin your journey. And now, back to the video. Alright, hello there Gabrock, how has it been going? How's my bank looking? Let's check. So if I remember correctly, we invested 500 silver's worth into this bank. We put it on the high risk strategy. So theoretically we could have like, say, I don't know, 10 grand waiting here. Let's see, what do we got? Zero. We have zero. Gabrock, what did you do? What were the investments here? I mean, there is genuinely nothing left. If I click withdraw silver or withdraw gold bar, there's nothing. This guy successfully managed to invest in, I don't know, AI tech startups or something, because my goodness, there is nothing real to show for it. Fine, Gabrock. I tried playing the game fair, but I need money to break the game, and random quest giver, I don't have time for you. Right, so we are effectively broke. We have a measly 400 silver to our name. I mean, unlocking all of the upgrade slots on this bow alone is going to cost me quite a fair bit of silver. And then there's upgrading my equipment, and oh my goodness, it's going to be a mess. So seeing as the world's economy has broken me in my mental state, it feels only right that we should change our character. No, the world has wronged me, and so it is time for I to wrong the world. Kliff gazed into his investment portfolio, and all he saw was the wall of red losses. The despair and anguish of losing it all washed over him, but did he reject it? No, he embraced it and became the red. And so allow me to present Kliff the Destroyer. He still has the cute bunny mask, but now it's red. Sometimes I do feel sorry for the NPCs who have to deal with the player character wandering up and being like, yes, I would like everything to be red. I don't care that it might break your immersion. I've had all of my investments taken away from me. Right, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, quite simply, we need to make ourselves some money. There are quite a few ways of doing this. We could do it the normal way the developers probably intended, by killing a large amount of bandits and then slowly selling off their loot for a few bits of silver here and there. Generally speaking, you'd probably spend about 10 minutes doing this, and in return you'd get about 20 units of silver. Another classic trick that people like to do is to milk the fact that some of the items in this game infinitely respawn. For example, if you make your way over to the Spire of Insight down here, there's various lockboxes that will respawn. These can have little copper bags in them and things like keys, but realistically you could spend an hour of your life here and you'd probably only end up with about 100 silver. It's better than hunting bandits, but it's not great. And then Finally, that leaves probably the only non-cheaty way of cheating maximum money out of the game, and that is with gambling. As we all know, there are many gambling games around the world, and the deeper into the game's questline you go, the more high stakes and high profit games you'll run into. Now, of course, this means that if you're choosing to farm money, you can always gamble and bet as much as possible, and if you ever lose all of your money, you just reload a prior save. It's a very time-intensive process, but one that does allow you to cheese the game a bit and guarantee that you always win. So what are we going to do to fix my money problems that's a little bit different? Well, we're going to make our way over to this lovely location on the map here, just beneath the city of Deminis. Now, if you've not progressed the main story as much as I have, then there's a very real chance that this entire area will be hostile to you. Fear not, if you're able to make your way to this point right here, with this fast travel beacon, you can very easily run your way inside of this wildlife sanctuary. Once you're on the other side, no one will attack you, meaning that you don't have to progress the main story to pull off this exploit, but it does help. So why on earth do we want to find ourselves in this environment? It's got a huge amount of noble people concentrated in one easy location. These noble people are great because they're all incredibly wealthy citizens, and if we hold down control and bring out our lantern here, we can actually see that they all have various things on them. This person has a pouch of what appears to be coins. Now, provided you have yourself a mask, which you can find everywhere in this game, you can do crime. Now, if we were to run into this individual here, we'd be able to attempt to pickpocket them. When we pickpocket them, we take an item from their inventory, but the item that shows up here is the most valuable thing in their inventory. So in this case, this wildlife visitor has some kind of coin purse on them, so we could bump into them and steal it. That's very good, but it's not the high value item, for these are rich nobles on a wildlife holiday, and so that means some of them have real wealth on them. So what we're going to do is walk around with our lantern out and take a look at everyone's pockets. You've got a nice coin pouch, so have you. This person's got a key in theirs, very fun. You've also got a key. You've got a coin pouch, nice to meet you. More coin pouches here. Nope, no one over towards the entrance had what I was looking for, so we'll continue our adventure around. Whee! I mean, this is really such a wonderful and wild and exotic wildlife park. Look, they have goats. Okay, to be fair, they do actually have some weird birds. Check out this little guy. He looks pretty cool. Okay, I've made my way about halfway round. Still, I haven't found what I'm looking for until, oh my goodness, literally right here. Okay, perfect. On this bridge with a happy little crocodile. Sir, hello. Something tells me that you were meant to spawn beneath the bridge and not be on top of the bridge with all of the guests. But evidently, you're such a happy little chappy. Who am I to complain about you being here? You're great. There you go. You want to go scare these people? Oh, he's making a friend. Okay, I'm getting distracted by the cute crocodile. So this guest right here has what we're looking for. As you can see, when peering into their inventory, they have what appear to be some glowing bars, as well as a key. This basically means that somewhere inside of their inventory is a golden bar, which means, provided we just jog into them at a decent pace, we can tap E, and this allows us to pickpocket them. If we then run a little distance away, we've successfully pickpocketed them, and we won't gain a bounty. Now, we will take a little bit of a negative reputational hit, which is a shame, but I've got a solution for that later. So if we pull out our lantern again, we can see that the person we've robbed no longer has a key in their inventory, they just have that bar, which is perfect because now when I run by and knock into them and tap E, you will notice that yes, I lose -5 contribution points, but we gained something quite important. We gained an entire gold bar. In fact, actually, I think we gained 2. Wow, that's pretty good. So a gold bar, if you don't know, when handed into a bank is worth 500 silver. Very, very good indeed. So before I leave, I'm just going to have another quick scan around, see if anyone else has a gold bar lying around. Oh, this person has one, so we'll just quickly tap into them. Lovely stuff. Oh, we weren't able to steal his gold bar. Instead, all we did was take his cheese, which that's nice, but I can clearly tell he has something more valuable in his pockets than cheese. And that time, Jade? Jade? I'm not doing this for Jade. All right, now we just need to quickly get out of the visual radius of detection. Oh, great. I didn't quite get out in time, so we received a fine of 86 copper, which is perfectly fine, you know. We can pay that at our convenience. Right, where's this gentleman with the bar? Should be wandering around here. Ah, there he is, sir. Look, I know you have the gold bars. Yep, that time it worked perfectly. We got ourselves our gold bar. Lovely. Right, so with my gold bar now purchased, we can make our way back to our favorite savings bank, where Goldbrack previously swindled our investments away. That entire process has basically just taken us 10 minutes, and in completing it we now have ourselves 5 gold bars in our inventory. Very, very good indeed. This is by far the best way of making money in the game. The only negative downside for doing it is that occasionally you'll get a bounty for a pitiful amount of money, and you'll gradually lose some contribution in the area, but we can solve all of that shortly. Anyway, firstly, let's stash all of our gold bars. So we now have 5 gold bars in the bank, meaning a total investment of 2,500. So now that my investment is placed inside of the bank, you'll notice that there's this little countdown here saying that in 3 hours, the results of our current investment strategy, which is medium risk, meaning it can go down 20% or up 25%, will take effect. So in 3 hours, a roll of the dice is going to take place. So all I'm going to do is sit exactly here and wait for 3 hours. So we're roughly 20 seconds away from this being activated, which means it is now time for me to go into my options and drop down a new save file. And there we go, it has refreshed and we have ourselves some profit. Yes, it was positive 7%. Now that's pretty good, it is a positive outcome, but it's not the best outcome. So what I'm actually going to do is use this as an opportunity to cheese the game. We're going to load up the save file that I made just a few seconds ago. This allows us to re-roll the investment dice, guaranteeing that we always get a good outcome. So we load back in and make our way over to the bank. Hello there, Gabrok. I remember you from a different timeline. So let's check the bank, and this time we can see that, yep, we got a much better return, 16%. That's fantastic. All from just reloading our save file. So what happens next is in 2 days and 23 hours, we're going to get another roll of the dice. We're actually going to withdraw some of our silver here, convert it into a gold bar, and then deposit said gold bar, taking our total investment value up to 3,000. Fantastic stuff. Of course, we can do better than all of this, so whilst our gold in the bank generates interest, we're going to make our way over to Deminis. I need to pay off my bounty. After all, I've effectively robbed 3,000 silver from the local nobility, and that's cost me around about 20 contribution points. Now, that might seem like a lot, but actually we can Robin Hood this up a bit. If we make our way over to the church, we can find all of these beggars here. Each beggar can be given 1 bronze coin, and this gives us 1 contribution point, meaning that for 5 copper coins, we gain back exactly as much contribution as we lost from stealing 500 silver. So yes, we're just like Robin Hood, if Robin Hood was also extracting a 99% tax before he gave his winnings to the poor. My goodness, aren't I such a lovely benefit to society? Anyway, whilst I'm in the area, I can also go to this incredible shop here. It's the Pet Tailor shop run by Remy here, who's not a rat. This is the most important shop in the game because it allows us to buy armor for our dog and a very fancy little hat, so of course we're doing that. Alright, so now if I summon my good boy, yes, look at him. He is looking so distinguished and wonderful. Take that, Editor Joe. Now I also have a cute pet. It's better than any pet you have. We can leave it to the comment section to vote. Now let's go clear our bounty. So in order to pay off our bounty, we of course head on over to the church and buy a writ of absolution, paying 86 copper. There we go, job done. We've successfully repaid our debts to society and left with a large amount of profits. So of course now would be a good time to return ourselves back to the wildlife oasis and continue this cycle again. Let's go! Yeah, okay, I've experimented my theory. If you tap E, you definitely get more than 1. So make sure to smash E a bunch. Oh, hang on a second, there's a bounty for someone who looks hilariously exactly like me. Oh my goodness, this man! They've probably been running around robbing people. If only we could find the person who's been doing these crimes. Right, so you find us back a few in-game days later, where my bank is almost ready to apply my current investment strategy to my existing portfolio, which I've now grown up to a nice and mighty 19 gold bars. However, we're going to change our investment strategy from medium risk to high risk. This might seem incredibly dangerous and scary, because we might lose 50% of our gold bars. However, fundamentally, this is a video game, and so with the power of saving and loading, there is genuinely literally no capital at risk. So I'll be back after one in-game hour to collect my revenue, and goodness, yes, photo mode is great, but it does remind me that my character ever so slightly sticks out in this world. Right, and there we go. The clock is ticked over, so we can see that we gained 7%. 7%! Game, you go to plus 50%. Why stay at 7%? Fine, right, we're reloading our save. All right, back in I go, and ooh, my inventory is saying gold bar acquired, so I'm going to guess that, yep, let's check previous investments. Oh, it was a big un! Oh, it was a big un! 43%, ladies and gentlemen. Yes! Look at that. Right, well, I should probably withdraw some gold bars. So I'm going to take 5 out, and then I'm going to convert them all into silver, giving me 2,500 silver. An absolutely insane amount of money in this game's actual economy. However, this money is incredibly useful because it allows me to buy a large amount of pre-made food that is very expensive. After all, if you want to defeat a boss in this game, you're going to need a lot of healing supplies. So let's grab ourselves 8 silver's worth of hearty meat skewers, a mixed stew, and who can forget the tea? So with our economical troubles now solved, the next quest is quite simple. We need to defeat Karanda, Queen of the Skies, the Harpy Queen who causes a lot of problems in the local area. And the reasoning is quite simple. I want one of her rewards. If we get it, it's going to let us break the game. So we're going to make our way on over, and hopefully Kliff has what it takes to defeat this boss. Alright, so our goal is to slay a Harpy Queen who is at the top of this mountain, which is, oh my goodness, it's big. Right, well, away we go! Right, I think I've arrived in the right area because, well, there's a weird floaty thing in the sky. Yep, it's a Harpy. Hello. Oh, okay, I thought you'd be more challenging, but 2 shots from a bow is apparently enough to kill you? Right, okay, I'm starting to think this boss fight isn't actually going to be difficult at all. Ow. Okay, excluding the occasional times where they get to hit me. Alright, okay, the harpies are getting dealt with, but I won't lie, there is quite a lot of them. Oh my goodness, there's so many of them. There are genuinely so many of them. Alright, I guess if I just defeat the boss, right, that should be enough to clear it. Hopefully. I do not want to have to fight all 400 harpies at the same time. Alright, harpy boss, please make your presence known. Ah, there you are. Okay, you look significantly more spicy than the others. Why did they give it? Why has the harpy boss got a chest? Oh dear. Wasn't aware that when I was going to be playing the game today, I was going to have to deal with someone's persona. Okay, so basically this boss fight consists of me aimlessly aiming around with my bow to the best of my ability, or whilst they get to just, I don't know, shoot at me with stuff. It's mostly just about who can power attack the most, I won't lie. Which, thanks to all of the food I have in my inventory, feels like it's me. Oh my goodness, let me guess. The persona has a second phase. No, the persona does not have a second phase. The persona just leaves. Cool. What was that fight about? That's fine. Good for them, I guess. That fight was incredibly easy. I was actually expecting it to be a lot harder. Personally, I'd like to take some of the loot that I found up here with me. After all, there's like 700 gold bars lying around that I'm just not allowed to pick up. But you know what? Fine, game. Keep your treasures. So you're probably wondering, why on earth was I so obsessed with killing that massive bird? And the reasoning is quite simple. By completing that quest, we get 2 abyss gears. The Pillar of Wind here, which allows us to channel wind, which is pretty cool. We can use it to fly around the map a little bit easier. However, there is one thing that is significantly more valuable, and that is this right here, Infinite Arrows 2. This is an abyss gear that, when equipped onto a bow, gives us a 40% chance to just not consume an arrow when firing. That's pretty darn good. But of course, it can be even better. So we're going to make our way over to everyone's favorite destination to break the game, the Witch's Hut. Okay, so at the Lovely Witch, we're able to do some very important things. Namely, we can actually spend some of the money we've made to create some sockets on our equipment. So we're going to spend 105 silver unlocking all of the 5 slots on our bow, and then we're going to spend another 15 silver unlocking the slots on our shield. We can now attach abyss gears into these items, making them more powerful. Now, despite the fact that I actually intend to be exclusively using the bow in order to break the game, it is still important for us to have a shield. For some reason, with the way the game's designed, mind, unless you are exclusively doing combat dual wielding, you should always have a shield, because by just having this item equipped in your slots, it does buff your stats, regardless of if you're actually holding it. Alright, so with our new sockets created, we can now embed some upgrades into our gear. Namely, inside of my bow, I'm going to be attaching infinite arrows too. Wabam, let's do it. So with that, our bow is now significantly better. A 40% chance to not consume an arrow is useful, but it doesn't exactly break the game. Now where we're going, we need even more overpowered abyss gears. There's just one slight issue. We have two ways of getting them. Number one, we can go out into the world and randomly slay creatures and hopefully get something we're looking for. This is time consuming and unreliable. And so we look towards the second option, the ability to craft abyss gears. And at the end of this tree, we have special synthesis. This allows us to invest 2 tier 1 abyss gears we have, to roll a dice of getting a 50% chance of another tier 1 abyss gear that is randomly selected, or a randomly selected tier 2 abyss gear, or a 4% chance of a greater abyss gear. Now you can probably already see the issue with this game's design, namely that if I make one now, I could get something really useful, I could get something really useless, and I'm specifically looking for a gear that's going to not consume arrows. But I can't guarantee that what we're going to craft is going to actually be what I'm looking for. Thankfully, I can guarantee that it will. By dropping down a save file, I can now go into the workshop, and now I can craft a new abyss gear. And if I don't get what I'm looking for, I can quite simply re-roll. So I'm going to burn 1 abyss bane and 1 fortitude, and roll the dice trying to make something new. What do we got, witch? You get blessing of the beast. Why on earth would I want Mr. Beast to give me his blessing? 10% chance to skin an additional hide off of an animal. Oh, how good. So I'm going to load the game again. Alright, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I've been cycling in and out of the witch's shop. I've managed to get my hands on some very useful things. Not exactly the thing that I was looking for, but pretty close. We've got ourselves Composure Free, which is really powerful. Spirit is used for all of your fancy attacks, so being able to generate it is great. However, the main thing that we did get was this, Greater Infinite Arrows. Now this is an abyss gear that means we have a 100% chance not to consume arrows when firing them. It is insanely overpowered. However, it is balanced by the fact that it has durability, which means the more we use it, eventually it will break down and stop working. Still, for the time being, we can now upgrade our bow with some very useful things, like the Greater Infinite Arrows and the Greater Insight, giving us a huge amount of crit rate. Right, so now our bow has a critical rate of 12 and has a 140% chance of not consuming any arrows. That seems pretty good to me. Then for our shield, we'll just add in 2 more defense bonuses, taking the defense of the shield up to 10. I really should be upgrading the shield. It's so weak. So why on earth is the Infinite Arrow Abyss Gear so powerful? Well, it's because explosive arrows are so overpowered. They do huge damage, but most importantly, they stunlock all enemies and even bosses, making it impossible for them to fight back against the player. But they are balanced by the developers, making them really hard to get. They're sold by just 2 merchants in the game, who sell 2 arrows each at an insane price, and their stock rarely refreshes. So we can use these Abyss Gears to remove the balance limit set by the developers by making it so that our bow doesn't consume any ammo. So now we can become an unstoppable, explosive anti-aircraft battery. So we're going to quickly clear the base using our explosive arrows in the infinite supply, which, as you can see, is surprisingly easy work when everything blows up in a single shot. Oh look, there's a squad of men right in front of us. Hello there, friends. Yeet. They're all dead. Oh, we've got some more men coming from our left. Let me hit you with 2 big booms. Boom. Boom. Right, next up we have ourselves a random tower over there, so we'll just blow that up. Blow up this one. Blow up that one. Look at this massive structure. That can get blown up. You die. You die. You die. And there we go. The outpost is cleared. Woohoo! We're so good at this. Right, so now that we've seen that we can defeat some decently powered enemies with our explosive arrows, logically we should try and defeat ourselves a boss. So I've headed on over to the Martial Estate in Demonis, where we should be able to find ourselves a nice powerful enemy. So let's just run on in here. Ah, here they are.
So, you're ready to die then?
Hello, Half Moon Reaper. You are very tall. My goodness, how on earth did you get that tall? And of course, because it's a boss in Crimson Desert, they just immediately knock you down to 0 health. Ow. Excuse me, am I allowed to turn, please? Right, now we slow down time, and we unload our explosive arrows. There we go. Knocking the enemy down. We can then fire off more explosive arrows, pushing them out of the battlefield. Half Moon Reaper, can you please return to the battlefield? Please.
Last call for the Half
Moon Reaper, please can you... There we go. We just walk around the corner now. So we'll just once again yeet the Half Moon Reaper up into the sky. This is insane. Anytime they get close, we can just fire them out to the arena. Come on, come back, Half Moon Reaper. Ow! Okay, not like that. Very rude. Very, very rude. Right, let's yeet again. Goodbye, Half Moon Reaper. No, we can actually do a charge shot on this. They're currently down on the ground in a state of stun, which is normally when you do a melee attack, but I don't need to do that. And oh no! My greater infinite arrows has been destroyed. No! Okay, so we finally hit the end charge of our bow, which means we now have a 40% chance of consuming arrows, which basically means I can't use my bow anymore. Can I please have my spear instead? Right, and so there we go. Thanks to our explosive arrows, this fight was quite easy. And rest in peace. So that was very useful and powerful, however we've unfortunately broken the necessary Abyss Gear to give us infinite arrows, which means we need to get ourselves more Abyss Gears so that way we can go back to the Witch and convert them into the infinite arrow perks that will allow us to actually break the game. Luckily for all of you, there's actually one very reliable way to farm Abyss Gears, and the only equipment you need for this is a shield. Right, so I've made my way over to the lovely Crimson Desert Icewatch altar where there are some fancy folks here with some good equipment, and all we need in order to get it is a shield, as we're going to do a nice little bit of classic shenanigans. Yes, we want to trigger them into a fight and then bait them into attacking us. Then when they do that, come on, please attack me, friends. Alright, fine, I have to do the first hit. So now that they're hostile, he's going to attack me, but provided I slash back, their weapons go flying. Oh dear, I appear to have been frozen. Ouch. Ouch, please. Please. Okay, I need to kill the guy with the freeze pack. Right, now we just need to bash again. That guy loses his shield. Fantastic stuff. Then my dog will go and pick it up. Let's bait this guy over here in the corner. Come on, give me a bash. And we disarm him, dropping his shield on the ground and his mace. We can pick up all of this stuff. Right, you sir, please attack me. Come on, one of you. All right, there we go. Disarm. Lovely. Right, now we just need to kill Frozen Pac-Man. Come on, die. You guys are literally the only thing standing in my way. Perfect, he's dead. Fantastic, I think we are clear of Freeze Pac-Man. So now we have just the regular enemies to contend with. Come on, give me some bashes. There we go, he attacks. You attack, you get disarmed. Come on, please, give me a nice hit. There we go, you're disarmed, you're blocked. You're disarmed. Now, the reason you might be wondering why on earth I'm after all of these shields, every single one of these items that we're farming contains Abyss Gears. These Frostborn shields all come with Fortitude 1, and all of these maces come with Malacebane 1. These Abyss Gears can then be taken off of this equipment, and we can use this to farm Abyss Gears. Alright, so what I've basically done is I've disarmed everyone successfully, and my dog is running around picking up all of the items off the ground. As you can see, there's only one guy left standing with an actual weapon in the background. So I think it's safe to say that I've done enough damage to these enemies for today, and so we're actually not going to stay here and finish this fight, because I can simply come back and they will have all re-equipped themselves with fancy gear. So we're gonna jump on out of here and say goodbye to these people. And oh dear, I've made my way into the Iceland. Right, well these guys are gonna kill me. Oh beans, let's just fly on out of here. Okay, no, this is death. This is death. We've chosen death. Hello, ice people. All right, so we die here. That's okay, because I farmed everything I possibly could have wanted. So with our first batch of farming complete, you can see that in our inventory, we have 29 items which we can pull Abyss Gears from. This is absolutely fantastic. So we're going to be making our way back to our local witch, and she's going to allow us to gamble until we get all the things we could possibly want. Okay, and with just one mace remaining, we've successfully extracted absolutely everything. Which now means if we were to do some special synthesizing, you will see that we're able to do this 14 times. And when we craft our Abyss Gear, we turn 28 existing Abyss Gears into 14 random ones. And would you look at that, we've got 2 Infinite Arrows 2s already. Oh, this is fantastic. This is absolutely incredible. So with this, we're now able to go into the workshop and embed some Abyss Gears in our bow. And would you look at this, ladies and gentlemen, we have all of the Infinite Arrow gears we could possibly want. And so by embedding the free, we now have a 120% chance of not consuming any arrows. Absolutely fantastic. So I think it's time to test out our brand new found powers on a little group of bandits. So we're going to pull out our bow and say hello to the bandit camp. Hello there, friends. And unleash the arrows. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I have become a rocket battery. And, oh, you're all dead. Okay, that literally took 5 seconds. Oh, they're fleeing. Unfortunately, that's not going to help. Wait, hang on a second. Does this let me cut down trees? Oh yes, it lets me cut down trees. I guess this is one of the ways you can cut trees down. Oh, it efficiently cuts them down into tiny pieces as well. Oh, we found a new way to do deforesting. Oh, we can genuinely get so much wood from this. Oh, this is perfect. New Crimson Desert logging strat unlocked. Just use explosive rounds. Because yes, it fires off all of these logs, and sure, I'm going to have a hard time collecting them, but luckily for me, my dog can do all of the work. So yes, you'll notice in the corner, I'm just collecting a huge amount of timber, and we've successfully liberated these people. And you know what? With all of this extra wood, we may as well be upgrading our bow a bit. Now, I know technically there are much better bows available in the world. I just really like the idea of using the first one we get in the game and turning it incredibly powerful. So yes, that's what we've done. Our damage is now up to 22 off of that bow alone. I also added in 2 attack speed abyss gears, as the quicker we can fire out explosive arrows, the sooner we can stun lock people. And so, after a proper trip to the smithy, these are our brand new stats. We now have an attack speed of 11 and a damage stat of 43, which is all very good. So I think it's now time for us to find a truly powerful foe. At the top of this mountain sits a gentleman claiming to be the Stag King. He's amassed a large amount of followers who wear deer heads and are causing a huge amount of problems. They're abducting people, murdering people, generally causing a right ruckus. So seeing as I've now made myself very powerful, it only seems fair that I should use some of that power to slay some of the foes of the common people, because that way the common people will hopefully ignore the greatest foe of all, me, the person running around stealing all the gold bars. Okay, right now we get to face Sigurd the Stag Lord. He's looking to be a very powerful being indeed, but I'm going to prove that yes, we can beat him using the starting bow that you begin the game with. So, Stag Lord, let's see what you've got.
A petty thief has but one fate. Death, cold and swift and merciless. I shall slay you myself.
Oh, this guy's great fun. Right, Stag Lord, you look very powerful. But I'm going to teach you the definition of the word boom. So of course we're going to do what we normally do, which is blow someone up. However, I made some potions earlier, including this bad boy here, a lesser elixir that means for the next 4 seconds, absolutely nothing I do will consume spirit. And that includes bows. So I shall be aiming my explosive arrows, and away we go! That was pretty good. Okay, so Staglord has unfortunately now lost the entire first phase. But don't worry, this is a video game. He's got a second phase. And oh, he's quite angry now. Well, unfortunately, he's dead. So, that was a boss fight. Or at least I think it was meant to be. Have you got a third phase? No, there's no way you've got a third phase. Oh, he's got a third phase. Right, so goodbye, Staglord, final phase. Oh, look at him come at me. I'm sorry, Staglord, you've really tried, but it's over, sir. Alright, goodbye, Staglord. You were one of the fights I've had. Rip! So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Crimson Desert has been broken once more, and today we've showcased the power of not only harvesting abyss gears and stacking them for insane modifiers, but also the fastest way to get infinite gold. I've been absolutely loving my time playing this game, and I hope that you also have enjoyed watching these videos and also playing it yourself. If you have, let me know in the comment section, as it helps me determine if maybe a third Crimson Desert video is a splendid idea. Anyway, as always, a massive thank you to our YouTube channel members and patrons for funding this nonsense. You're all fantastically majestic sausages. Right, I'll see each and every one of you in the next one. Have a lovely day, and goodbye for now.